Hello, and welcome to the Tech Theater Skills series. My name is Chris Schlemp. I've been an actor, director, projections designer, and theater teacher for over 20 years. And I'm glad to be sharing some of my knowledge with you. This series is on lighting design, and it's geared for someone who is just beginning their adventures of discovery in terms of lighting in the theater. This series is going to be broken down into 7 parts. And this is episode 4, Parts of a Lighting Instrument. There's some pretty hefty vocabulary coming your way right about now, including some more in-depth explanation. So I recommend you get out a pen and paper. If you start making that connection between your brain, your eye, and your hand, you're more likely to learn. There are 4 broad categories of lighting. Spotlights, for lighting specific spots with a hard, crisp edge between light and shadow. Wash lights, for covering larger areas with a soft, fuzzy edge between the light and shadow. Floodlights, for spreading light over a very large area of the stage. And moving lights, lights that actually move during the performance, either controlled by hand or remotely. Take a look at a few examples. Lighting instrument number 1 is a spotlight, a specific kind known as an ellipsoidal. Number 2 is a washlight, a specific kind known as a Fresnel. And number 3 is an example of a floodlight, what we sometimes call a scoop. And number 4 here is an example of moving lights in action. These are the kind that are controlled remotely from the booth. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments section, or if you happen to be in my class, put them in the chat. Let's see if we can figure out the answers together. In this lesson, we're going to focus on the parts of one specific type of lighting instrument. This one, the ellipsoidal. Now, in order to do that, we're going to take a little field trip and visit with a friend of mine, Eddy Hansen, who is the technical director, set designer, and lighting designer at one of the local theater companies where I work. This is the Spreckels Performing Arts Center in Rohnert Park, California. My friend Eddy Hansen is the technical director here. Sometimes I perform here, and sometimes I design projections for shows here at Spreckels, which means that sometimes Eddy is my boss. Today, he's graciously agreed to show us all of the parts of an ellipsoidal lighting instrument.
This light in particular is a Leko light, also known as an ERS light, ellipsoidal reflecting spotlight. Okay. So the primary use for this is going to be creating a beam of light that shoots a pretty significant distance, usually. They come in varying degrees. The degree depends on the type of lenses you have in the instrument, which is in the barrel. Inside of this barrel tube here are some lenses, plano convex lenses, and in the back end of this light, you'll have a lamp. I'll show this to you real quick. Pull out the lamp. And this is the heart of the light. It comes out here eventually. Lamp, okay? So what this lamp does is it plugs into the wall, fires up. This is probably a 750 watt lamp. Sticks into the back of what you see here is a reflector, okay? That's the ellipsoidal reflector part of this. You stick a lamp inside of a reflector, you turn it on, all of the light that is generating inside of that reflector is being focused and shot out the front of a light, okay?
If it helps, you can think of it like a common household flashlight, which has a lot of the same parts. There's a lamp, and you see that metallic silver bowl at the front? That's a lot like the reflector at the back of an ellipsoidal.
This specific light is going to shoot a beam of light that probably comes out like so. And it'll shoot a certain amount of distance to whatever your target is, and it'll create a circle of light on the floor, on the wall, whatever you're happening to hit. And it will be a nice hard edge. You'll see a blue line basically that goes around the circle, giving you a hard edge. The nice thing about these lights is that you can change that edge. They have a knob on the front here, which you can adjust your lenses forward and back. When you do that, you're actually changing that focal length from the lens, or from the lamp. So that hard circle that you're shooting onto your cyc or onto the floor now has a nice soft edge, or a really soft edge, or you can go back to a hard edge. Depends on what you desire for your focus. If you're shooting it onto some scenery, you probably don't want a really hard edge because you'll see hard lines on your set, unless you want to actually cut your light. And I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Okay, you cut your light. You've got these shutters. These shutters here, when pulled all the way out, okay, you pull out all of your shutters. You're allowing all light to pass through this barrel. Okay, whenever you push a shutter in, this shutter is actually like a half moon. And what'll happen is it slides in and it's actually cutting off a certain amount of light. The nice thing about these lights is you can actually see that very hard edge. So if you had an edge of a wall that you wanted your light to end at, you could push in a shutter a little bit and you cut the light completely off the edge of that wall. You could actually push in all 4 of these shutters and have a box if you happen to want to shoot a box on the floor, a box on your set.
Eddy's already shown us a whole bunch of parts, so I wanted to give you a chance to take a closer look with what's called an exploded view. He's shown us the lamp housing, where the reflector is, where the lens is. He pointed out the barrel and the shutters. See if you can add this diagram to your notes. Pause the video. Your drawing doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best.
Another feature of this is they got these T-handles on the side, okay, of what are called yoke. This is a yoke that your light hangs off of, okay? So typically this light would be hanging on a bar, okay? You see a C-clamp here. This is called a C-clamp, shape of a C. Your bar comes right through here. You tighten it down with a C-wrench onto the bar. Gets everything nice and solid and stable. This light should also have a safety cable, but the safety cable would go through the yoke and over the bar to make it safe so it can never fall. Then you adjust your T-handles here. You would focus your light to whatever position you want it to be shooting at. You lock down your T-handles, okay? And what you are now is you're locked down, ready to focus. Somebody on the stage floor or wherever you happen to be shooting would be going, okay, I want to adjust these shutters and adjust this light to light up exactly what I want it to do. And the person up on the ladder or up on the catwalk would come in and shove in these shutters. A little kind of fun note about the shutters in a Leko: left is right, up is down. It's a little secret that you will learn once you start playing with these lights. What happens is when the light beam comes through these lenses, they reverse, okay? So if I was gonna point my light at a wall and I needed the wall, the line to be cut on that side of it, I would push in my right side. If I wanted to come up on my left side, I'd put on this. If I had it on the floor, I'd push the top. So once you start playing with these lights, you'll pick that up pretty quickly. It's kind of confusing at first, and everybody will say, bring in the left shutter, and you'll push in the right, and you'll go, no, the other left. Little technical humor.
Eddy cracks me up. He's a great guy and a really great explainer. Here's a vocabulary list of the terms that he's talked about so far, and there are 2 on this list that are coming up in the next segment. So once again, pause the video and make sure that you have them all. Don't try to memorize everything right now. The only way you're really going to learn all this stuff is if you ever get your hands on a real light.
I'll give you 2 more features here of a Leko light here that are pretty awesome. You have a color frame here. You basically are going to put this in the front of your light. All lights come with this frame, these brackets that will hold your gel frame, okay? And what this does is allows you to put color in front of your light. You want blue, you want red, you want pink. You add the color, okay? And it's really simple. Some of them have clips for safety to keep them from falling out. The older ones don't. Another nice feature is these lights will hold a gobo, which is basically an image that can be projected through the light onto a surface. This one happens to be a foliage breakup. If you can see it all right there, okay? And what it does is it goes right inside the fixture. Has a special slot for it. It's called the gobo holder, holding the gobo into the gobo slot. The light will project right through that metal, sometimes glass, gobo, and shoot through the lens onto your desired surface. It could be words, it could be an image, it could be a sun, it could be many things. You can have them custom made. Those are 2 of the great features to this that add you a lot of texture and design to lighting options.
If it's the end of the lesson, it must mean it's time for you to try it out. Go ahead and pause the video and see how many parts you can remember. Don't worry if you don't get them all, just give it your best shot. You've learned a lot today. You learned about the 4 basic types of lights. You went on a field trip to the Spreckels Performing Arts Center and visited with my friend Eddy Hansen, and you learned all the parts of an ellipsoidal reflecting spotlight. I want to give a special thank you to my friend Eddy Hansen, who graciously gave of his time and his knowledge so that we could all learn a little bit more about lighting in the theater. Thanks for stopping by. Come back real soon for the next lesson in the series. And if you felt like you got something out of today's lesson, then please like and subscribe. See you next time.